Hello, welcome to Nightmare Flicks. I am Nate, you are you, and we are on the 5th stop on the road to Halloween Kills, the review series I'm doing here on this channel where I look at each film and my favorite franchise, Halloween. So if you love the franchise and you enjoyed today's video, of course, be sure to hit like and to let me know your thoughts in the comments section. We'll talk down there. I love getting a good discourse going about these films, but also hit subscribe so you don't miss a single review video, you don't miss the Halloween Kills review, you don't miss the franchise ranking, you don't miss all the fun content coming your way about my boy, Michael Myers, his home of Haddonfield, and this franchise, Halloween. But today we're going to take to task the 5th film. In the last video, we covered a fan favorite in Halloween 4. It's one of the most beloved ones. Halloween 5, the immediate sequel that came out just a year later, is one of the most hated films. It's one of the ones that's blamed for the degrading of this franchise, for the downfall of Michael Myers and co. And really, when you look at this film, anywhere you look, you could just skip chapters, go anywhere you want in the movie, and you will see something stupid unfolding on your TV screen. And I didn't realize just how stupid this film was till I sat down for another rewatch the other day, and I was like, oh my goodness, just literally every couple minutes, I'm seeing something I object to, something that bothers me, something that is a smack in the face of Halloween fans everywhere. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about all the dumb stuff I noticed. Here is everything stupid going on in Halloween 5. Halloween 5 gets off on the wrong foot. It is stupid from the word go. We pick up immediately after the events of Halloween 4. We see Michael being flushed out and being washed down the river, only to be seized by a hermit. Yes, a hermit, who then does what? Well, the hermit and his parrot, they kind of hang out and just walk around Michael and try not to mind him while he just lays there for a full year until the next Halloween comes around. Michael didn't need any food. He didn't need to go to the bathroom. He never woke up. The hermit never thought this was odd. The hermit never so much as poked him, was like, hey man, you good? You need anything? Why would you do this? Why is this the explanation? Halloween 4 is smart enough to know that Halloween 2 had a decisive ending, and there's no real smart way to describe or explain how Michael is still out there and how he's still looming around Haddonfield, how he's still on this revenge tour. But that worked, because we understand that as fans. We have to suspend some disbelief. This movie tries to explain what happens and how he's still around, and it doesn't make any sense. Nothing about this opening makes sense. It's head-scratching. If you wanted to show a little bit of what happened after Halloween 4, all you needed to show is him being washed down the river after he's been shot up a whole bunch. They drop the dynamite down the well, or what's left of it, and then you see him grab hold of the muddy embankment. You see his scarred up, nasty hands kind of clenched into the muddy embankment, and we know Michael is still alive, and he is out there, he is looming, and he's just as much a threat as he was in Halloween 4. So the film establishes what's going on with Michael, what he's been doing for the last year. So then we catch up with young Jamie Lloyd. What has she been up to? Well, she hasn't been saying much because she is now a mute. A mute. Whose idea was that? I know this script was rushed, but it's pretty much them going, I have no idea what to do with this young character. I have no idea what to do with this girl. Fans really loved her. We had that plot twist at the end of 4 where she's stabbed her mother with scissors and Loomis almost blows her away while she's at the top of the stairs. Where do we go from here? Because we're not making her the killer. And if she talks, it's just going to raise a lot of questions. We're going to have to get all sorts of exposition in. We're going to have to fill in the gaps. What's been happening in the last year? What's going on? Maybe we'll just make it to where she can't speak. I mean, she has a supernatural connection going on with her uncle. That's established in the first film. So I guess anything can go ahead, right? We can make her a mute. That'll work. But we can let her do physical acting because Danielle Harris is a fantastic child actor. So we can have her have this kind of telepathic, mental, cerebral thing going on with her uncle to where some force is connecting them. And we won't ever explain the force. We don't need to do that, but we'll just show that like Jamie sees whatever Michael sees. But at the same time, they screw themselves because sometimes she acts like Michael. Michael grabs his mask, pulls it on. Jamie reaches for the mask. But Michael sometimes grabs hold of somebody else, starts attacking them, and Jamie starts acting like she's being attacked, which would mean she's in some way connected to that person. So they don't even do a good job with the whole psychic supernatural connection. They really just botch it. But everything about the setup is ridiculous. You took one of your best characters and you just completely neutered them for no good reason. And then, of course, later, she can't all of a sudden speak. So what really was it for? Nothing. It was just lazy screenwriting that we didn't have a more creative solution to the problem. So we came up with this flimsy thing, this hard pill for fans to swallow. But don't worry, once we get into the late second act and we're nearing our climax, we know that she's kind of our final girl. She's our most important protagonist. So then all of a sudden she'll be able to speak. Don't worry, fans. No, that's not how this works. I mentioned Jamie pantomiming as Michael putting his mask on. Can we talk about the mask here? It's awful. It is atrocious. It's one of, if not the worst mask in the entire franchise. I know we're coming off of 4 where he looked like a pallid pedophile, but at least that's creepy in some context. He looks like American Gothic Michael Myers. He looks like Farmer Michael. And that's only even more so because he kills in a farmhouse later and you see him with a pitchfork and a scythe and all these things. And it looks like American Gothic Michael Myers. It doesn't make sense. It's because the mask is molded after the face of Greg Nicotero. Well, Greg Nicotero looks nothing like William Shatner, and the mask is just wrong. And then they don't even bother to tuck the mask in. So we get this weird-ass American Gothic Farmer Michael walking around with long, slick back hair. The hair is not even right. And then the mask is hanging out constantly. Every frame, every shot he's in, the mask is just, and it's just so freaking noticeable, and it's distracting, and I really don't like it. And I love Greg Nicotero. If you're a horror fan, you have to, and you have to pay so much respect to him. He's given us so much as fans of this genre and of so many different subgenres. Amazing effects throughout his career. But this film, it might be some of his worst. When you look at the mask he created, when you look at the scene later on in the farmhouse, there's a moment where you can see the little plate he's created for the chest, the prosthetic. There's an angle where you can kind of see this prosthetic kind of hanging there. And it's just a quick thing, and that's a nitpick. But it is an issue because it happens twice in the film. Because when the other Michael, not Michael Myers, but Tina's boyfriend gets killed, he hits the ground or wherever he's laying there, and you can actually see his like wig kind of hanging off. You can tell that the little garden, I don't know what you call that thing, the little pick hoe thing, whatever you would call that, that was stabbed into his head. You can tell that it's a part of a little wig that goes atop his head, and you can see it kind of hanging up there. So maybe that's not really Greg Nicotero's fault. That has to go more into like the way the scene was set up. It has to do with the way it was edited, where it was cut at and everything. Maybe it should have been cut a little bit sooner. Maybe the camera should have been positioned differently, but it doesn't change the overall effect that you can see these effects, you know they are effects, and it ruins your buy-in. And I said her name, so let's go ahead and talk about Tina, the most annoying character possibly in all the entire franchise. You know what? I'll let her vouch for herself. You make the decision on if she's annoying or not. Play the clip.
Billy.
So what do you think? You on board? You love you some Tina? Is she annoying? I sure think she is. And guess what? She's going to be our stand-in now for Rachel. Because we talked about weird decisions with Jamie, weird decisions with Michael. There's even worse decisions with Rachel. One of the fan favorites from Halloween 4, a character that I talked about in my last video having one of the best arcs in the entire franchise. This girl we saw go from a begrudging sister and somebody who wanted to kind of shirk some of her responsibilities and just get to live her high school life, ultimately having this arc to where she's put her life on the line for young Jamie and making herself so sympathetic and charismatic and likable to fans everywhere. Yeah, we're going to take her and we're going to degrade her. We're going to devolve her into something much less, into some, just run-of-the-mill, just awful slasher character. Kind of like, you remember in Halloween 4 how she had a love triangle going on with Kelly and Brady, and she refers to Kelly as Little Miss Hot Pants? Yeah, guess what? Rachel has now become Little Miss Hot Pants. Gone are the morals, gone are the standards, gone are the values. No, she's just walking around, not even in hot pants, no pants. She's just doing nude scenes and acting like a ditzy airhead. She's not the character we knew from the first film, and she has an unsatisfying death in some of the opening moments of the film. In the first third, makes no sense, highly questionable, and then you're going to give us Miss Ba-ba-da in her place? Why? No, you know what? I was going to talk about something else, but I want to stay on this point. I want to continue to drive this home, if you will allow me to. Because if we're supposed to be okay with Tina in favor of Rachel, and we're supposed to be fine and entertained by what happens with the Rachel character, then why not make Tina more likable? Why do the things you do? Because you have dialogue in this film that would have served her purpose in this movie and would have served your purpose in writing this character. But you gave it to Sammy. You have an exchange between Tina and Sammy where they are talking about Jamie, and Sammy comes off way more intelligent, way more sympathetic, way more grounded, and like somebody that you would actually root for, while Tina comes off as a self-centered airhead who does not give a damn about Jamie, no matter how much Jamie loves her and how much Jamie's going to depend on her as this film continues. So that's a really mind-boggling type of thing right there, because you would think if you're going to see us have to watch Rachel, our girl, die, then that, you're going to make the next girl at least somebody we like. But no, you make her friend. So this is now somebody, 2 people removed from Rachel. You're going to make Sammy her friend. You're going to make her the likable one and keep Tina as just this shell of a human being. That's who we're supposed to root for. That's not good stuff at all. All right, let's get off Tina for a second. I hate to do this because I love me some Alan Howarth. He's done some wonderful stuff with this franchise. And I talked about it in my last video. I talked about what he did with the opening moments of Halloween 4, that really autumnal October atmosphere that he establishes with the howling wind and the whispers and all that, and the opening sequence of Halloween 4, and the way he's modified that beloved score throughout all these different movies. So, of course, kudos and props to Alan Howarth. But what on earth is that music that plays whenever the cops are around? The honks, the squeaks, this kind of bozo, the clown bull crap. Why is that in a Halloween movie? Why is that in any horror movie? What is that? That's like some stuff that would be rejected from Saturday Night Live, that it would be on their cutting room floor and would never be put onto the actual show. And it definitely does not belong in my Halloween movie. Gotta say it again, tuck the damn mask in. But if you think the cops' introduction is clumsy and goofy and ill-advised, what about the man in black stepping off the bus? What about the man in black? Well, Dominic Othen-Gerard, he couldn't answer that question. If you pose that to him during the making of this film, after the film, 10 years after the film, it doesn't matter how much time you give him because there was no real thought behind this. He just wanted to inject a little bit of mystery into his Halloween movie. But he had no answers as to what this person is, what the connection is, even though he's adorning the same tattoo as Michael Myers. That's right, Michael Myers has a tattoo, and apparently Loomis is cool with this, and we're all going to pretend that Michael's been killing people and leaving this thorn symbol around at the scene of his crimes. That's always been his MO. Yeah, we got to pretend that now. That's another stupid thing that I kind of forgot to mention. But yeah, so Michael has this stupid tattoo. And yeah, the Man in Black has a stupid tattoo. So we know they're connected somehow. Now, we don't know if Michael is serving the Man in Black, if the Man in Black is serving Michael, if they're accomplices, how far back they go. Did the Man in Black, on the same night of 1978, did he kill his family too? Are they best buds? No, we don't know, but the director doesn't know either. The screenwriter doesn't know either. It's a problem that they completely pushed to the next film. They just wanted to throw it in there for poops and giggles because, let's have some mystery. That's intriguing, right? No. Not when you have such a beloved and important IP. You need to kind of craft some stuff out for. Don't you love that Halloween 4 did a lot of the work for you? That they gave you a really beloved film to go off of, something to build off of, some nice characters with Jamie and Rachel. And of course, you're getting Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis. You are screwing the people who are next. And all these other things you've already done in the movie have screwed the past. So you're just screwing Halloween left and right. And that is exemplified by your oddly gothic Myers house. Yes, the house in this film is creepy. It's a cool location. It's a nice little setting, but for a different movie. Or maybe for a Halloween movie, but you don't call it the Myers house. Because the Myers house is like a character in itself, and it's important to fans, and we've seen it numerous times. So we know it like the back of our hand, and we know that this is not it. This is not our hand. Why are we doing this? That's what I'm saying. This director, he had no love, he had no concept, no knowledge of the franchise, what was important, what wasn't. He was kind of just being selfish in the way that he made these decisions. We're going to kill off Rachel. We're going to change the Myers house. We're going to have broad daylight and really like highly intensified light in all of our shots. That's not what Halloween is. And fans are going to hate it. It's going to be confusing because when you see Michael coming into this place later on, you're going to be like, why? Why are we here? What? Oh, he's come home because that's what Michael's done. But this is not his home. And I'm sorry if you've heard a lot of these complaints before, but maybe this one will be a little bit more unique and original. Hopefully you haven't heard this everywhere. But can you tell me in the comment section why Michael, after killing the other Michael, the douchebag Fonzie wannabe, after killing him, why does he take his car to pick up Tina? What is the mission here? What does he accomplish by doing this? What was this supposed to help him do? Because he's supposed to be after Jamie. That is the central plot point of this entire movie, is that all Michael cares about is getting to Jamie, nothing else. But he goes out of his way to go pick Tina up? Why? He doesn't need her for anything. And that is exemplified by the next scene where the cops arrive to the little gas station and Michael peels out of there without Tina because he never needed her. That sequence didn't really need to be in there. It just sets up the cookie woman. It sets up that scene, but you could have done that any number of other ways. So what are we doing here? Why is this scene in the movie? Do you know? Not too long after that moment too, guess what? Jamie can now speak. Hooray! Yay, our girl's back. She can talk. Why couldn't she talk in the beginning? Why do we have to go through that? What was the purpose of that? What did we accomplish by doing that? Does anybody like that plot point? Does anybody else not hate having to explain that to somebody who's new to the franchise? Because when I sit down, I have to watch this with my girlfriend, and I've talked about Halloween and how much I love it, and she's seen these posters and stuff, and she was psyched about the ending of Halloween 4, and we start Halloween 5, and Jamie's going, And she's like, honey, what the fuck is this? I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. So this movie puts me in that position, and it puts me in a lot of unenviable positions to have to try to defend this franchise because Halloween 5 is just a loathsome, terrible plague on the franchise. I remember when I said Tina is just not likable. And even if she were to give her life in the end, which of course she goes on to do, it's not redeeming because she's just so unlikable. And they go out of their way to make her unlikable at every turn, whether it be through being annoying or through her own words and her own actions. We get more of that because she's given one more chance to do the right thing and to be there for Jamie. Jamie is pleading with her. This little girl who loves her so and doesn't have anything in the world is pleading with her. And then Loomis, the doctor, this her elder who knows better and has way more wisdom than she does, he's trying to talk to some sense into her. And that her retort is, I'm never sensible if I can help it. That is who we are dealing with. That is supposed to be our martyr coming soon. Are you kidding me? All right, let's talk about the party that happens at the farm. Because there's all sorts of stupid going on at that setting. I mean, there's all sorts of dumb stuff happening here. First off, Spitz continues to do that super high, annoying laugh. And, once I would have given you a pass. I'm like, okay, he's eccentric. He's a little bit out there. He's the nerdy comic relief. Good for him on being with Sammy and all that. But he does it over and over and over again to where I'm kind of curious if you were to look at his time on screen every so often. How many times is he doing this laugh? Like, is it every 3 minutes, every 4 minutes, every 5 minutes? It has to be something like that because he's just constantly squeaking and doing this cackling laugh, and I hate it. But he also does the gag of pretending to be Michael Myers, not once, but twice. You don't do that. Why would you do that twice in a movie? If you want to do it once and you think that's entertaining and that's some sort of ruse that we should include, okay, fine, do it once. But don't do it once and then do it again just minutes later. Do you really think it's going to have the same effect, or do you think it's going to be stale and make all of us roll our eyes? Also, at the farm party, we get the weirdo and whatever the hell costume that is. Good on you if you know what that costume is an allusion or reference to, because it's above my pay grade. I am not cultured enough to know what we're going for here. I know it has to be something that Dominic Othin Gerard is all about, but I come from a different background than him, and I don't get it. I don't know how many people have ever gotten it while watching this film, and I also don't know why this guy's gonna keep pushing for sex. Like, any girl is going to come anywhere near him when he's looking like some sort of fuzzy, dirty creep. It's weird to say a child actor deserves better. But when you're coming off of Halloween 4 and you saw everything Danielle Harris did as Jamie Lloyd, and then you watch this film and you see her giving it her all. She was supposed to be the killer, and I'm okay with the fact that they didn't do that. But she had to be let down by that. But she comes back and she gives an A+ effort. She has great physical acting as the mute child and as the girl in the air ducts and all this. She really goes for it and she nails it. So much of the script and the production and everything around it just fails her. And of course it fails Donald Pleasance too. And Donald Pleasance, he's really been a proponent of other scripts, like the original Halloween 6 script. Now, of course, Halloween 6 has all of its own problems, but the original script apparently was something to behold, and it was good. And Donald Pleasance was really over the moon about it. I can't imagine Donald Pleasance being very psyched when he got the script for Halloween 5. This movie fails him, and it fails a child actor in Danielle Harris. All right, Michael Myers has been getting off a little too easy. We've been talking about too many other elements and too many other people. Michael Myers is not good in this movie. This is a terrible iteration, a terrible version of Michael Myers. We already talked about the look not being right, but also Don Shanks makes this just befuddling decision to carry the knife like this as he's walking around everywhere. Because, and the previous 3 films that included Michael Myers, that's what he was doing, right? That's consistent. That's continuity. That's how he operates. That's what he does. No, it's not. Why are we doing this all of a sudden? That's not how you become a beloved Michael Myers. So many people talk about James Jude Courtney and his portrayal of the character, and they love it because he did all of this studying of Nick Castle and capturing the mannerisms and the walk and all these little gestures and things. So you got the essence of Michael Myers. This is not Michael Myers. This is not even like a C+ cosplay effort at Michael Myers. And then you have all this stuff about Dr. Loomis knowing what Michael Myers wants from Jamie. What are you talking about? That you don't give this man an MO like that. He's supposed to be evil personified, the darkest eyes, all that. He's not supposed to be like, I need this little girl because I can then do this and I can accomplish this. And there's this thing that drives me, and then I know we're connected and all that. No, you don't give him motivation like that, but especially not one so clumsy, and then to feature it like that. And then you allow him to be reasoned with. Jamie reasons with him when she's in the coffin. She kind of gets through to him for a moment where she cuts through the rage. This film's all about the rage. She's able to cut through. quote unquote, the rage. Dr. Loomis is able to kind of talk some sense into him for a little bit before Michael snaps back and kind of manhandles Loomis. That shouldn't be happening with Michael Myers. And if you know Michael Myers and you know the story of Halloween 1978, then you would know that for 15 years, Dr. Loomis was not able to make any sort of impact on this child and then this teen, this man. He wasn't able to get through. Michael never listened to a damn thing he had to say. Michael was unmoving in what he was about. Here, not so much the case. He's going, oh, yeah, you're making some good points. I am tired of being fueled by rage. I hate this malevolent force that just compels me to kill and do these things. Maybe you're right, Doctor. No, I'm going to throw you. That's not how Michael works. And he most definitely doesn't work in a way that old girl would be like, Uncle? And then Michael remove his mask so that we can see now as a ponytail. You know, Michael Myers always rocking the ponytail. And he is crying. He is crying like that old commercial with the Native American who's picking up the trash along the highway and got the one tear. That's our Michael Myers in this film. Yeah, the guy's gonna walk around like this all night because the rage compels him, all of a sudden is weeping. Hate it. Thank you for watching this far. We finally reached my concluding arguments, if that's what you can call them. But the conclusion of this movie is dog crap. It's awful. You see Michael Myers in a jail cell, and they let him keep his mask on? They let him keep his Greg Nicotero cosplay on? Why? And he's sitting there playing with the chains like, oh, darn. They caught me again. One of these days. And then he gets bailed out by the mysterious man in black who's just been kind of walking around and just occasionally showing up. And you're like, oh, there's that guy's boots again. Oh, he's here to bust out Michael. I guess it did go way back. I can't wait to figure out what that's about. That's going to be really interesting. At least they did one thing right. They set up one little interesting little twist in their story that we'll get to flesh out and explore in the next movie. But we're not going to, not properly, because they didn't do that. They just said, yeah, it's in there because fuck it. You need a plot. We need a reason that Michael's going to survive. There you go. Hope you like it, everybody. Good luck, writers of Halloween 6. It's an awful ending to a very, very piss-poor attempt to make a Halloween film. So there you go. There are all the stupid things that I saw while watching Halloween 5, my most latest rewatch. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this movie. Do you love it? What am I missing? What are the little gems tossed in throughout this film that aren't getting enough light, enough attention? Or are you like me and you just think it is just an absolute mess that really did hurt this franchise going forward? Other than that, I want to thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'm Nate for Nightmare Flicks saying that's a wrap.
It looks so good. Billy.